Okay, g'day guys, what do you do? It's your boy Andy RW back at it again with another podcast this time. People and Trends Podcast. Let's get it, let's go.
All right.
So, I've got a special guest today. So, he is the owner of a Toyota FJ Cruiser 2018. Recently was able to come out of a really bad financial situation. Has also been 15 years of being able to live a life of integrity. Was born in Kanagawa Prefecture in Japan, a president and life coach. Let's all welcome Mario Nakayama.
Thank you, Andrew. Nice to be here. Yeah.
Yes, a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
So, Mario, how did you walk us through how you came to where you are right now? Like basically your origin story.
Okay. My first origin is that I was born in Japan.
Yes,
Okay.
Kanagawa, right?
Between my father, who's Japanese, and my mother, who's from Cebu, Philippines. So, in a country like Japan back then, this is like 1970s.
Yes.
Mixed breed wasn't so famous, right?
There was a negative stigma, was it? Or was it
Yeah,
positive?
it's Japan has always been a culture of closed culture,
Yes.
and they don't welcome outsiders. There's even a term called gaijin, right?
Yes,
So
I
it's
actually heard that.
outside people, foreigners. Yeah.
Right.
So everybody, whether you're white, yellow, black, you're all gaijin, right?
Dang.
So growing up, being a so-called half-bred, and it was not easy for me. So I used to get bullied a lot,
Right.
and I had a really very different demeanor before when I was a child. I was a mama's boy and very sweet, and but then that's the reason why I get picked a lot.
Right.
Would
you
I
say
was
that
very
was
sensitive?
Would you say that was your Filipino culture, or was that just you?
I
as
think
well?
it's just me.
Right.
And I was just because I was full of love and compassion.
Yeah.
So probably I was born that way.
True.
But then things had to change when I started going to school,
Right.
kindergarten. And
That was here or in Japan?
I was in Japan.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So, but then I hear, I'm a very observant person ever since I was a child, and I could hear chit chats of people when we pass by the street, and I hear the whispers.
And the word gaijin comes up.
Not really gaijin, but then it's like we're different. Okay, so as growing up,
Yeah.
I had this identity issues.
Right.
When I'm in Japan, I'm a foreigner.
Yes.
When I come to the Philippines, every like now and then, every year, every 2 years, I'm also Hapon, right? So I get teased for being a half bred, and that was really an identity crisis, which I come to learn later part of my life, but then which I didn't know. So I was kind of lost. I'm always thinking, okay, so where do I belong? Where do I belong? Where do I belong?
It's that sense of belongingness.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but I was bigger than most kids my age.
Wow.
I was tall, and then I was strong. I was athletic.
Always good.
So
Always good.
always excelled in sports and plays, even as simple as riding a bike. Right?
Wow.
So, that's where I get attention among the friends and the neighbor kids,
Yes.
the neighbors. And then what made the situation worse when I was younger, when I started schooling, is that I'm the only kid in neighborhood who goes to a private school. So I wear a uniform every morning,
Oh,
walk,
no.
and then I'm different.
Yes.
So that's the reason why also that I didn't have much friends in the neighborhood.
True.
And of course, the mothers don't really like their kids that I hang out with them
Right.
because of my race, right?
And this is still in Kanagawa.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I grew up there, finished my elementary school, but until I was like grade 2, grade 3, it was okay. But when I started grade 3, grade 4, we have interactions with the the bigger kids in school, and then that's when I started getting picked on. Right? Because among my friends, they come to know me. We become friends. Naturally, you know, I become somehow a leader, or people follow what I say.
It was
because
always
I was
innate in you, right?
I don't know. It's like it's something that people want to follow me, and or probably I'm just probably bossy.
Could
But
argue that.
whatever the quality I had, that I had friends, and I usually I'm the one who's leading the ideas, activities. Oh, let's do this, and everybody does it. And then, but I was always somebody who was sincere.
Right.
That's why I had the trust and confidence of my friends.
There you go.
If they get picked on, I pick a fight. I buy the,
You'd buy the fight?
I buy the fight for them.
Damn,
And
that's
so,
awesome.
So all the more that they're really diehard
Yeah.
with me. But then when the bigger kids started to pick on me, they call me names and
Like
stuff.
the older kids this time.
They're much bigger because grade 3 and grade 5, grade 6, it's a
Yeah.
big, huge difference, right?
It is.
Physically.
True. Very true.
Then one day I just thought that I need to fight back.
For sure.
And my dad has always been very strong personality. I've always feared my dad. He's so strict, and it's like he's been through karate. He was a bad boy too when he was younger.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
You can't mess with them.
so I was really, he also likes to watch like those gangster movies, yakuza. He loves those topics, and so I was I grew up also that my dad teaching me that I need to be tough.
Definitely. I think kids really do need that toughness instilled in them at a young age.
Yeah.
Because if you always, grow up, being this like, oh yeah, you're doing a good job. It's like, doesn't really instill the right kind of confidence.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So, I knew how to fight back. And I know I also had that confidence that I was always strong.
Right.
And I was fast and agile.
Did you do any martial arts?
No, but my dad taught me
Like the basics of it?
Yeah, the basic.
there you
kata.
go.
So
It's always good.
then one day this a kid from grade 5 picked on me inside the bus station, and I just fought back. And in
This
fact,
is an older kid this time.
older kid, and then of course we all there's so many kids from our school in that bus, and then it just went viral.
Damn.
Everybody heard about that I fought back, and
And you were a hero to the younger kids?
no, he was picking on me. So
Yeah.
so what happened was it went viral, and they were saying that, oh, he's so strong, he's so those
You were
things.
so strong, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome. That's really
So,
good. Good street
that
cred.
really pumped up my reputation in the school. So nobody picked on me anymore.
Nice. Even the older kids this
Yeah.
time. Ooh, nice. That's
But the sad thing that happened was that the bullied became the bully. So I
true, because now
I got everybody's attention. So I'm the jefe in school.
so you walk around.
Not that extent, but then and people, when I come in, people will say, oh, they back up, and then, so I wasn't really bully in a sense where I beat them up and do really bad stuff, but it's more of I'm a natural. I tease people a lot, and sometimes it turned out to be a bad joke. But I don't beat up people. It's, I buy the fight, but I don't pick a fight.
That's always good, right? I think you really put out an interesting story, because now you actually told us a little bit that you're 15 years in now of living a life of integrity.
Yeah.
Because it's such a huge contrast, right? Like for talking about your younger age. So walk us through how you came about to being that kid who was the bullied to the bully, and now to a life of integrity. Walk us through how that happened.
I would say the the biggest thing, the event that happened was that, in Japan, you are really trained to succeed.
True.
All right.
Word.
So ever since like I'm grade 3, I'm sent to this institution. It's like a second school after your school hours.
What? After school thing?
Yeah. So it's a review center to prepare you for entrance exam for middle school.
Damn.
So that's the
intense.
trend
That's
in Japan.
intense.
So especially boys,
True,
it's really, they lay path for the society lays the path for all the boys.
Right.
You really have to go to good school, get
Yes.
into good school, get good job. Those Robert
Just the-
Kiyosaki poor dad
Yes.
thinking.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So so I did, and of course I messed up big time because I only went to diligently until grade 5, grade 6. The last part of the leg, the finish, just before the finish line,
What was the last
I
one?
was skipping classes.
Oh,
My parents thought that
You were
my
in
parents thought I was going to the review center, but I was just
What were you
going
doing
around.
instead? What were you doing instead?
Nothing, just going around pretending that I'm there, but then I just go home after the time that I'm supposed to be home.
So you just like set out or like
Right.
hang out elsewhere?
And the teacher from the review center gave a call to my dad,
Oh no.
and I got caught. So
Dang.
then I had to catch up on lessons. But they rate you where you stand in the review center.
Right.
All schools in Japan, middle school, for entrance exam purposes, are rated.
Right.
And I was aiming for pretty high one.
Yeah.
And
Was it out of 10 or like what was the ranking? So
out of 100.
out of 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what I was aiming for was about 85.
Damn,
It's
85.
pretty. There's no such school as 100. The highest probably would be
90.
87, 90. Yeah.
Really?
So I was
Wow.
aiming really high.
Damn. Okay.
Then of course I was so behind. I hated school. I was
Yeah.
just so tired. Always school, study. So
Yeah. Oh.
Damn,
That's crazy.
it wasn't. I didn't have enough time to catch up.
Right.
So I failed big time.
Oh
No,
no.
so most of the kids, what they do is their strategic approach is that they choose their best primary school, secondary, tertiary. Then they will go up to like the fifth. Like they have 2 schools that sure that they'll pass. But I didn't have it. I didn't choose any. That's why
Right.
whether I get in that school or I won't.
So it's just that one school that you were just
Yeah,
aiming
and
for.
I failed big time.
No.
So the option was that in society, like when you're brought up going to private school, it's an embarrassment to go back to public school.
True.
But that was the only option I had.
Really.
So my dad sat down with me, said, "Okay, I'll give you a choice. You can go to public school
True.
or go to the Philippines, learn how to speak English, but you gotta live on your own."
Wow.
So that was the big decision I had to make. It was a choice I made to come over.
Was it the easier choice or was it the like looking
At
back?
that point, I thought I had no choice.
True.
I wouldn't want to embarrass myself going back to public school, but later on in my life, I realized that as young as that age, 12 years old, I was able to make a choice for my own.
Yeah,
For
it's
my
a
own life.
pretty adult choice as well,
Yeah.
right? Dang.
So I came, then everything changed.
Wow.
Because I'm no longer known as the bully, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm no longer the jefe.
Yeah.
Right? So
It's a whole new like. Was it a good thing or a bad thing to come into a place where you know no one? Was it like how did you take that?
well, it was very, very difficult, very challenging, especially that I didn't speak English when I came.
True.
Um,
Because how old were you when you moved?
12.
Oh yeah, dang.
I just finished elementary.
Very right.
So,
Very young.
of course, I had a background on English, but my mom already spoke Japanese, and so I wasn't.
So it was
really-
just all
Yeah,
Japanese?
it was all Japanese. So I had to start all over, learning the language, meeting new people.
Yes.
So-
you moved straight to Cebu when you
Yes.
came here. Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
And which part of Cebu? Just for the Cebuanos out
just
there.
I lived with my aunt,
Right.
sister of my mom, and she had a house in Labangon, the south
Labangon.
of south side of Cebu City,
Ah, right.
and that's where I lived.
Shout out to all the Labangon people there.
I don't think they know me, so. But then, yeah, the thing is, it was quite far from the school I was going to. I was schooling in Banilan.
Oh, damn,
Yeah.
that's quite a travel.
Yeah.
At 12, 13. Damn.
Yeah, so it's about well, back then there was no traffic.
True.
So going to school would just take me like 30 minutes. Yeah. But then being in a new school, being in a new environment, I had to change my personality. I mean, so somehow my original nature came out. Friendly guy, funny guy,
Yes.
without having to put up this face of,
Because it's a fresh new slate.
yes.
Right.
And I had to be nice, right?
Yes.
To make friends.
Especially as the new kid.
Right.
Because you would have been first year high school, right?
Grade 7.
Grade 7.
Yeah, grade 7.
Gotcha.
So that's how things changed.
True.
And instead of known as the bully, I became the funny new Japanese kid in town. Yeah.
And how did you go with your with your high school life or your middle school life? Like, was it better?
The most challenging thing was that I didn't really understand and speak good English.
True.
So I knew ever since I was a kid, I know I wasn't dumb. But then my academics suffered because of the language.
Yeah, because it's a huge language
Yeah.
difference, right?
So sometimes, like even in values ed, like you have to read literature, and then like I don't understand it.
True. Because even like that would have been really hard for you, because that would have been speaking beside to people. Tagalog was also taught,
Not
right?
even, because I was in the international school, so everybody spoke English.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a lot better.
So
at least it kind of eased that part there.
But even then,
Yeah.
so I got teased, but I didn't turn out to be a bully,
Nice.
because I was already a big kid. So,
True.
so that wasn't really much of a concern. But then, the language was a really big thing for me.
True.
But then later on, it gave me this confidence that I'm good with language.
Nice.
Because after that, it was after high school that I started speaking in Visaya, because I went to Veles.
Right.
And even as simple as introduction, they don't speak English, so I'm shy to speak
Yeah,
English.
sure.
They might say, this guy is so he's so
Konyo.
slangers.
Konya slangers, yeah. True.
Yeah, so
True.
that was another challenge when I went to college.
But it would have been an interesting challenge now, because you now know how to speak English, but being able to sort of assimilate and speaking Cebuano.
Yeah.
Because going to Velas, right, there would have been a lot of Cebuano speakers, right?
A lot. Majority.
Majority.
Yeah.
There you go. Dang.
So that was another challenge when I went to college.
And did most teachers speak in Bisaya when they
Yeah.
taught? There you go. That would have been an extra thing as well.
Even my friends, I had to, they laugh at me because I don't
Slangers.
really, I don't really know how to speak this in Bisaya. And
But you were able to speak Bisaya still, like little bits before going to college, or
just
you s-
terms,
just terms?
usually bad words.
As
kids.
you would. I think
First words
Yeah.
we always learn in every language.
it's always that curse word, because you hear all that like, okay, that was a curse word.
yeah.
Okay, dang. So walk us through, like, okay, this time, coming into Veles, now you go to college now. You've recently learned this language. What was the full shift? Because, coming from Japan, you're still the bully. Coming to Philippines, you're less of the bully now. You're basically being, you're basically sort of hugging, or you're, what's the word? I'm forgetting.
Embrace?
Embracing, that's the word. Embracing your full Filipino side, because now you're being able to speak the language, being able to just be one in the school. So walk us through how that full shift of, as you said, integrity, living a life of integrity. How did that come around?
Yeah, even speaking the language,
Yes.
because I was always speaking differently.
True.
even if I understand and speak the language, that when they hear Mario Nakayama, Japanese, so here goes again. But at least I was able to overcome my issues on my identity.
True. That's always
I was able, because at least the difference was that when I was in Japan, being having a Filipino mom
yes.
was something that they looked down on.
Right.
But here in the Philippines, being half Japanese was something they looked up to.
Yeah.
So
it's actually pretty cool.
mestizo.
Yes,
So it's
exactly.
it's a different thing. It's a half breed here is a good thing.
It is.
It's a hybrid.
Just a quick question, by the way, just to detract from the point. Did the Japanese kids actually know that you've got a Filipino mum? Did they, can they tell right away from the way you look? Or
No, just
people
foreigner,
talking?
just foreigner.
Okay.
Yeah, gaijin.
So just people talking like, he's the guy with the gaijin.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
but,
half.
But you don't look different from them.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
But not
as much,
not
right?
as much.
Because I don't know. I've always found this quite interesting. I never knew that half. Like for example, looking at you, I think you might blend well with Japanese people, but they kind of picked out like, nah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because as a boy, I had long lashes.
Right. So yeah,
And,
they've got the short lash.
I had a bit different eyes. It's not really
Is
Japanese.
any of the skin complexion, like were you darker or bright? Like
Well,
lighter?
I was fair. My complexion was always fair, and then
Compared to them as well, right?
Yeah, they're also they're very fair.
True.
They're light skin.
Right. So there's that difference. Anyway, sorry. Took you away.
Going back,
going back.
So, what was your question again?
Basically, what was the shift around from because now you basically, it's a good thing being half bred here in Philippines. How did you go from that to living a life of integrity?
Okay. So, it wasn't a nice story to tell also in my college days, because one of the biggest challenges that I hate, I was programmed and I hated school. I hate studying. And because I was just bombarded with everything, and then every time I see my dad, I go, "Did you do your homework? Did you study? Oh, what are you doing?" Every time I was not studying.
Yes.
I was told to go back to studying. So like growing up,
There was a negative
Cebu,
stigma, right?
Yeah, growing up in Cebu without my parents' supervision,
Yes.
gave me lots of rebellious activities,
Nice.
and that's why I couldn't also even finish my course in Vélez.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I had to shift. The dean told me, "Okay, I can still let you continue, but is this what you really want?"
What
At
was
least
the
that
first course that you took?
I took an occupational therapy
Right. And
So,
you shifted to which course
to
now?
veterinary medicine.
Right.
That's another long path, but then I eventually finished.
Right. And because you actually liked it more? this time?
I loved dogs. I was into dog shows.
There
so
you go.
even
That's
I was in college. I was already serving the club for as president
Nice.
of Kennel Club.
You always have this natural born leader pathway.
They just want me to do things.
I know. I see that a lot. Like when they put you as a leader, like, okay, because now you can do things.
Yeah, they just don't want to be the representative. So here's this kid who's so passionate about dogs.
Why
let him
not?
give him the title and let him do everything. So
Dang.
just kidding,
Right.
but so that was the struggle I had. So I was into all the barcada stuff
Yes.
and drinking and all those stuff that waste of time stuff that I was doing. And of course, bad relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. And then one day that opportunity came among my friends that I was asked if I wanted be part of this restaurant business.
Right.
It didn't go well also.
True,
but
true.
then,
What happened? Like, how did it sort of come down?
it wasn't doing well. And of course, I didn't have anything to do with the operations.
Right.
So I was just an investor.
Silent investor.
And then it wasn't doing well. I wasn't happy about it, and I cashed in. I sold my share to my one of the partner. And then of course, being immature entrepreneur, the friendship also, I parted ways with those guys.
Yeah.
And in the middle of, went into some other business ventures.
What other ventures did you go
I
into?
was into business venture. What was that? I think it's logistics.
Right.
I was into trucking, and I was the head of the logistics on a company with partnership.
Nice.
And it also didn't work.
Dang. What was the main issue there? Was it more of the operations?
It's more of the partners couldn't agree.
Right.
Of course, the capitalization, additional capitalization, and stuff.
Right.
So it wasn't really my doing, but then
Yes.
the one who was funding the company wanted to get out. And he was the one who brought me in, so I said,
Dang
okay,
it.
I'll go with you, bro.
Wherever you're going, I'm going.
Yeah. So, I didn't want to stay behind when the one who brought me in went out.
Yes, exactly.
So, after that, then, several failed business ventures, and a cousin of mine invited me to attend this seminar.
Right.
It's called a PSI seminar.
What
It's
does it
about,
stand for?
PSI stands for People Synergistically Involved. And it's a big seminar company in the States.
Right.
And there are a lot of motivational speakers and
Is it like a personal development?
yeah, personal development,
Right.
self-help gurus
Gotcha.
recommend a lot. And that's the seminar I took, but I didn't know anything about it. My cousin just said, "Oh, it's something that will help you with your business." And when he mentioned business, okay, I'll take it, but how much? It was an amount that I was ready with.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "Oh, I'll pay for it, and if you like it, just pay me back. If you don't have to pay me back."
True, right.
So that's how it went. It's a personal awareness and personal development and leadership seminar.
Right.
And that's what changed my life.
Right.
My perspective changed, and so, wow, I wasted my time.
Dang. What was the main thing that sort of just changed you?
In those years, one important thing that was really taking responsibilities.
Yeah.
When I say responsibility, it's not about doing this and that. Being responsible meaning to say
Taking
a
control.
lot of mistakes in my life. I used to blame a lot of people. Like I blame my partners for business failures. I
Right.
didn't look into myself. This is what I struggle with. I blame my parents.
True.
My parents wasn't expressive enough about their love for me, and blah blah. They weren't there for me, blah blah. So it was so much of blaming,
Yeah.
which the seminar made me realize. If it's got to be, it's got to be me.
True.
So that was the turnaround. But then it was an easy turnaround also, because I had to continuously challenge myself
Yeah, for
to
sure.
get better and better. But personal awareness is what really changed.
Because it's definitely knowing who you are, who you act because I think a lot of people tend to just brush off things and not sort of take responsibility and accountability
Right.
of what has happened. Because I think this is I always see this in a lot of people, they tend to blame things that every time it's going down, it's this is so and so's fault. And then it's very weird when you see a trend that it's always just going down, but then the constant variable is the person.
Yeah.
So there must be something there that needs to be changed,
Yeah.
right?
Because looking back, every mistakes, every circumstance, every business failures,
Yes,
what is the common thing?
exactly.
I found it's myself. It's me.
I
Right?
think,
I'm the only one who's in common to
Exactly.
every experience, bad experiences I had.
And I think the beauty of being you as the constant variable is you've got control over you,
Exactly.
and that's crazy.
So that's the challenge I had, and I'm still a work in progress.
And it's always good, right? It's not about the destination. It's all about that journey to get there.
Yeah.
Right? So walk us through when, after that day you went to the PSI, what did you do? Did you do something immediately, or was it like after a few months you kind of gradually got into the?
It was a fast track.
Wow.
But then, of course, another thing that I learned in that seminar is all about balance.
Yes. Not too much, not too less, right?
Yeah, you can't always focus on one side.
Yes.
It's just that what happened to me was that after PSI, I just focused on one of the aspects.
Right.
It's more on personal development,
Yeah.
values, and I was just focused on that only,
Damn.
which wasn't giving me balance because I had to also focus on other responsibilities like I never wanted to be employed,
Yes.
but
I agree with that.
I tried employment.
Right. How
At
did
least
you?
for
Yeah.
for 1 year with
Right.
with a Japanese company as an interpreter.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a good experience.
That's not even too bad because interpreter, you basically just like what kind of
That's a lot of workload.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
is it a
every time-
corporate company?
It's corporate.
Ah, there you go.
Corporate.
Dang. So every meeting
It's a
you'd be there.
manufacturing company, so every day like they send us like instruction manual, translate, and then their workforce gets it stagnates when I don't get my job done.
True, because everything relies on you to get that.
And it was a company where the top management were all the executives were Japanese and the managers were the locals. So even their board meeting and then other management meetings,
in Japanese.
I need to be there. So I had to stop working and attend the meeting.
Wow.
Sometimes you just start arguing about something.
And then you'd be translating
Yeah,
still?
I'd be translating. So the Japanese executives said, "Don't translate this."
Oh,
They talk among themselves.
right.
And of course, the managers are looking at me and say, "What are they saying?" But those are the
Because you translate Japanese to Bisaya, right?
vice versa.
Or English.
English, Bisaya. So that's what they liked about me is because I could talk directly to the
Yes.
line leaders
Yes.
and the ones who don't really have a good understanding on English.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really powerful skill of being able to just talk to just about anyone, like especially in that scope.
Yeah.
Like Japanese, Bisaya, switch to English, and then back to Japanese again. Oh man, that's amazing.
But then, of course, I left because I felt that the role that I contribute was not valued enough. You know what I mean, right?
I agree.
So
I agree.
that's why I left.
But it's good experience though, right?
Very, very good.
Nice.
And after that, I went to a hotel industry as a translator and a consultant for Japanese culture.
Right.
And that's for another year. So
Nice.
those are the 2
2 years.
employment I tried.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome. Hang on. Quick pause. I'll just restart the camera. We'll pause for a quick bit, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll just insert a sponsor, and then we'll continue.
Okay, sure.
If that's right. Awesome. So just a quick break here. We're just going to insert our awesome sponsor. So our sponsor for today is Furniture City. So do you need a furniture for your condo or house? Furniture City is the biggest showroom in Cebu. They offer the world-class beds, sofa beds, and recliners to just about anything that you want for your furniture needs. They distribute to top-line brands such as Eurotex, Rain or Shine, Outdoor, just about anything, guys. Furniture, GLC, Lambert, they've got so much more. So visit their Hernan Cortez branch in Mandaue for more info. Check out the Facebook page at the Furniture City. Awesome. So we're back again with Mario. And yeah, he was basically, just to catch you guys up on what he was talking, he basically worked for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
2 years as a translator for Japanese to English and Bisaya. At the same time, he also got to work at this hotel, right?
Hotel.
Yeah, as a Japanese culture consultant.
Yes.
At the same time, a translator.
Translator, yeah.
Wow, dang. So now, after all your work employment, how did you get into this entrepreneurship?
Yeah, because at the beginning it wasn't really a good thing,
Right.
but I realized it became a good thing. I always saw myself. I always valued highly of myself,
Right.
which wasn't really good at the beginning because it's like I turned out to be arrogant and
Right.
overvaluing my own self.
Right.
So I suffered in terms of income because
Right.
I could get a good job and earn steady and grow steadily.
But then
But that wasn't how I saw myself.
True.
I've always believed that I can do more than that. I can be more than that.
I think that's always good to just being able to see yourself. I think just that balance there. It's not because you're saying that you're not good enough for this one, but it's all about being able to see that you've got more
Right.
that you can give to the world, and at the same time, you know yourself enough that this is not for you. I think there's something there out there for me, right?
But then that was really a big obstacle for me because unlike my other friends from high school,
Right.
there was nothing that my parents would hand me to.
Did your dad live in Philippines? Or
No, he
was it
was.
just-
Yeah, both my parents were always based in Japan.
Oh,
We had a business,
Right.
liquor business that went on. My dad was the third generation,
Right.
so it was good then. But then it was a dying industry.
True.
So after a while they decided to sell the business.
Right.
But then in the Philippines, there was nothing to receive. It's like there was no business that I could take over. There was no lump sum money that I could start a big business, big time, because I saw myself as such, big time thinking.
You always saw yourself as an entrepreneur, though, right?
Right. I
There you
always
go.
enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it's I needed to take a lot of risks.
Yes. More risk, more
And
reward.
especially in the beginning, I always asked for my mom to come up with a capital on a business ventures, and it fails. After a while, the money doesn't really come out from her
It's like,
pocket anymore. It's
where's
like,
it-
oh,
where's
what is
it?"
it? What is this again? Oh, with another partner.
Oh my God.
Partnership
It worked
never
this time.
works. Yeah, you really need to find something that you can do on your own, or your own business. Why won't you just come back to Japan and start working? I was like, no.
It's not for me. It's not for me.
So, but it's really difficult, very challenging for me to really believing in myself. What I see,
Yes.
people don't see it. Even my parents didn't see it because so much failures I went through. Of course, when you bet big, you can lose big also,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So,
High
my
risk,
life,
high reward.
for many years, it was a repetition of betting big, losing big. And the biggest thing was that I had to ask my parents to sell their house.
Right.
It was their retirement investment.
Damn.
But then I had said, Mom, sorry, that
Risk it.
I messed up big time, and then this is something that I need to ask.
Right.
And of course, that was something that they said, okay, this is gonna be yours. For your sister, there's a farm.
Because it's like pamana, right? Like something to.
Yes, that's the only thing that would have been passed on to me. But then I had to let go.
Yeah.
I had to ask them to let go, which
What-
is the
what was that
most
feeling?
difficult thing. It was embarrassing. I felt so bad.
Right.
And then of course my big head would always say, "Oh, I'll build you another house, even bigger than that." But nobody believed. And
Because this was after like the 20th failure, or like how many failures before?
I lost count. I also went into like network, multi-level marketing.
Oh, networking.
Networking.
Damn, that's very interesting. I really think.
But the business model is something that I always admired.
Yes,
Leverage, you get paid according to your performance.
I agree. I think being on the top of the food chain is good, but if you started somewhere, nah, it's no good. If you start a networking company, by all means.
Yeah.
But if you start somewhere in the middle, nah, not so
Yeah.
good. True.
But then it gave me most of my experience in sales and marketing really came from network marketing.
I agree.
Because,
they train you so well.
Yeah,
They
very
do.
very well.
Because they're quite aggressive, right? Like you need to just be, like you just need to be confident that you got
True.
this, right?
Yeah.
And it's always good. Because just to share a bit, like I did door to door as well. Like,
I did that as well.
right? Because honestly, I think the door-to-door actually shows you a different side of yourself that you've never been able to do.
Yeah.
Because you actually put yourself out there and you just try these people that you don't fully know. Like,
Right.
do you want to buy this product? I've got like, it's amazing, right?
Yeah. There was even a time that I had the product was a vacuum cleaner. So when I have to do a demonstration, I have to vacuum their house, their carpets, and I'm drenched in sweat after the demonstration. The owner of the house is there. Dong, are you okay? Here's water. So do you need some towel? So it was really pride swallowing experience as well. I struggled a lot and in terms of swallowing my pride.
Yeah.
But then that was a good thing.
Right.
And
Yes. Because
when
it builds you to the person you are today.
Right. And when I had to I had to force my parents to agree in selling the house, and which we finally did.
Right.
That was probably financially that was the lowest point in my life. I had to sell everything that my mom gave me, nice and expensive
Was
stuff.
it to recover something that you've done?
Just to
Compensate?
just to pay off the debts.
Damn.
It was a snowball effect. Like I didn't have income. I didn't have the business wasn't making good enough income to pay off everything. So I had to borrow, and then just snowball.
And then it went up until to the point that you had, oh damn.
So even cars, and ever since I learned this thing, fake it till you make it,
For sure.
and it cost me so much.
True.
And
Because I think there's a thing that's missing with fake it till you make it. It's like faking till you make it is fine, but then not being true to yourself is like just being a fake even to yourself.
Yeah.
That's where you lose out on it.
Yeah.
Dang.
So fake it till you make it. For people to see you, that's really bad. It's
Yeah.
gonna have a bad impact on your finances.
Yeah.
And then that's what happened to me.
How old were you at this point?
To, late 20s, early 30s.
And so you would have been like 28 to about 33.
Yeah.
What was the turning point? What age?
That was a big turning point because even after taking PSI, and I went through a lot. And then that was the turning point because even my mind tells me my heart believes I'm capable of doing so much.
Yes.
I wasn't observing it in my reality. Right. So then nobody believed in me because I'm just Mr. Failure. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
And then but then my heart still told me. I even cried and prayed
Damn.
that to God. I said, God, if you don't want me to be successful in business, take this desire away from me, from my heart. Because it's there, I always can't give up.
Damn.
So giving up is never my thing, and that's something I cannot allow myself to give up when my heart still believes in something.
Yes.
And later on, but the most challenging thing is that I have barely enough strength to believe in myself, and even my parents, the closest people in my life, can't see that as well.
Yeah. But
So,
at least it's still there within
It's
your
still
heart, right?
there, yeah. So
That crazy dream.
so that's when I also took the path in faith.
Yes.
I recommitted myself as a Christian,
Wow.
born again Christian,
Wow,
and
congrats.
and that also helped me
Yes.
get through. And later on, just recently, I learned the word grit,
Oh, right.
and probably that's what really kept me. in-
That was that grit that you
the
stuck
grit,
on.
yeah. Grit is what is all I got. I'm all grit,
I think
even
that,
until now.
I think that's it's an excellent quality, honestly, and it's super underrated with a lot of people because people think that you're just crazy.
Yeah.
You just keep doing the same thing, and it's like you expect different results. But I think there was a quote out there that insanity is being able to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results,
Right.
and it does butt out, right?
But I would just like to still agree with that statement.
Sure.
I couldn't just repeat everything that I was doing.
Yes.
I wasn't going anywhere, just
Adjusting.
repeating. So here comes another word called kaizen.
Yes.
You always mention. You're one of your favorite words.
I love it. Continuous improvement. It's so good.
So that is one thing that I had to immerse myself into.
Yes.
And through PSI seminars, I was trained to become a life coach.
Yes.
Voluntarily, a
Wow.
volunteer life coach. I
Wow.
don't get paid, but then I continuously improve myself. Self-awareness helped me also to coach my own self. Before I could be a good coach to others, I have to be able to coach myself, catch my own programs, catch my own shortcomings.
Yes.
Be responsible for
Yes.
everything that happens in my life is within my control, and I am fully responsible.
That's awesome.
So that's I'm still here. Yeah, still striving.
Still striving. That's awesome because I really admire people that, you know, despite all their successes in their life, they still see themselves as a work in progress.
Yeah.
Because whenever you put a cap to yourself that, you know, you say that I'm the best now, you're just up to there.
Yeah.
But then if you say I'm still improving, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. And man, I'm so humbled to just know you because honestly, it's amazing just being able to see someone grow from the bullied to the bully to someone who has moved into this new place, not knowing, you know, a lot about the culture, but slowly embracing the culture and transitioning into, you know, a limbo
Yeah.
phase. But then I think the beauty of that is, yeah, as you said, that grit and that kaizen just coming together into this beautiful, basically work in progress that's you.
Yeah.
And basically, where do you see in your life right now? Like, what's happening with your life? What's where are you at? Would you say?
Well, I'm back again in taking big risks.
Yes.
And
Nice.
of course, going through again, making a lot of mistakes. But
It's
this
always good.
time, a bit wiser
Yes.
than before.
Strategic mistakes.
Yeah. So, you know, one thing I committed to myself is that making mistakes is something that's not going to stop me.
Definitely.
But then I will never ever make the same mistake.
Yes.
And that's what is important.
For sure.
Yeah. You need to learn from the mistakes.
Yeah. I
So, you know, where I am taking again another leap and taking big risks,
nice.
venturing into different businesses.
Any businesses or industries that you want to mention, just so that for our listeners
Yeah,
out there, they
we're
can support
starting
you?
up with a different approach, the housing development,
Real estate.
real
That's always
estate.
good.
And I'm also going into advertising and marketing.
There you go. Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, because I think those two are closely inclined. Like, I think those are very complementing places.
Yeah, but initially as a startup, we'll be focusing on different industry
Yes.
as a separate company.
Right.
But then I think
Slowly.
advertising and marketing was something I never imagined that I would go into.
Yes.
But then I think the doors opened up, and my experiences in sales and marketing would really come into full work
For sure.
with this new venture.
Yeah, especially in the digital age where you can actually market for a cheaper cost.
Right.
Social media is so cheap.
Right.
Right now, you can just run an ad and actually get a lot of hits
Right.
to a website that no one's heard about.
Exactly.
Just to put out like a good photo or good video,
Yeah.
conversion.
Yes, conversion.
That's awesome. Cool. Any upcoming thing that you any maybe like upcoming activities that you'd like to invite people to?
Yeah, I'll be doing lots of workshops
Yes.
and
Watch out for that.
workshops and a lot of my sharing of my experience. What worked for me, I don't claim myself as a guru, but then I would really want to share my life experiences and what worked for me.
Yes.
And I would also love to hear your story. And if I will be able to pitch in some new perspectives into what you're going through, I'll be glad to hear that as well.
Any coaching sessions in the next few weeks or any dates that are set?
Well,
That way
I
they
see
can
myself as a cheap coach. I coach every opportunity I get,
Damn.
and coaching is not a profession. I don't see myself being a life coach as a profession, but it's a way of life.
That's
That's
awesome.
how I am to people that I come
Yes.
across. And so you want a piece of me? Come and get it.
There you go. Wow, that's awesome.
Right.
Yo, guys, so honestly, check out Mario Nakayama. Hit him up if you do have any questions. Feel free to
Yeah.
touch base with him. Are we able to tell your office, like share your office?
Sure, of course.
Perfect. So his office is actually located right near Buona?
La Buona.
La Buona restaurant, an Italian restaurant in Campotal. Is this Campotal?
This is Lahog.
Lahog,
Acacia
okay.
Street. Yeah.
There you go. So Lahog. So check him out, guys. Cool. So before we actually finish up, I actually have a set of questions that I'd like to ask you.
Of course.
Perfect. So, for your digital and social media stuff, I'm just going to run through a few questions of the stuff that you use right now.
Okay.
Just so that we can maybe revisit this after a few years or something like that,
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, that's what you were using that time. So, which equipments do you use? What's your cell phone right now?
I'm using a Samsung S8 Plus.
S8 Plus. Any any
Android.
particular choice? Like why you chose that one?
I think I've been using iPhone, and it was a
Wanted to
good
shift.
shift because there are a lot of features that Android phones
For sure.
can do that iPhones can't.
Very true.
I still have my old iPhone, so now I use both phones.
That's always good, right?
Right.
Personal business? Or,
Yeah.
nice. That's awesome. Any cameras that you use right now?
The
Choice?
phone is a camera for me.
There you go.
And a video, cam recorder as well.
Yes. Do you prefer your Samsung now or your iPhone?
I'm happy with my Samsung.
Nice. So it's definitely arsenal there.
Yeah.
What's your laptop right now?
I'm using a MacBook Air.
MacBook Air. Any
Yeah.
particular reason why you chose that?
It's light,
Yes.
very compact.
It's an
and
11-inch, right?
11-inch.
Nice. Very light.
It's very light, compact, yet it's powerful. It's
Yes.
fast.
It's enough to do pretty much like all documents.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
That's why in my all my offices I have a bigger screen.
Yes,
I
just to
plug
connect
it in.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Because I think it's all about portability right now.
Yes.
It's being able to go from there to here, but being able to still do your work.
Right.
Right. Perfect. Any listening device? Like, do you have a particular set of earphones that you like to use?
I use Bose. It's a Bluetooth earphones.
Nice.
It's good. I can even use it when I do running. When I run,
Nice. That's
it's
awesome.
sweat proof and
Wow.
it's pretty good.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So you like running, right? And then that stays on.
Yeah, if and when I work out, treadmill I find it very boring. Gym
Right.
is very boring, so
Outside,
I would want to
outdoors.
listen to your podcast
Yes.
and
That's awesome.
and educate myself while I'm on my own space.
It's very underrated because I fully think that nowadays people should be listening more to like self-help audiobooks,
Yeah.
anything that you can listen, not just music. Because music is always good. I think it's always out there.
Yeah,
It's always nice to just hear something and improve and get your mind sort of going, right?
right.
Awesome. What social media platforms do you use right now?
I use Facebook.
Mainly Facebook.
Mainly Facebook, and I'm coming up with a website.
Nice, nice.
It makes people get more accessibility to what I do,
Yes, for sure.
and the services that I can offer. Maybe these kind of program can be
Yes.
uploaded.
For sure.
It's it's
Yeah.
nice that I get to share and reach out my ideas to more people.
Definitely. It's all about that connection, right?
Right.
So right now, this is a question about trending.
Yeah.
So what's trending to you right now? Like what's the thing that you always see around you
Well,
on the news?
I
anything?
always go into different industries of businesses, but some people would say, "Oh, that's risky. You're
Right.
going into something you don't know, or
Yes.
you've never been exposed, or you don't have experience." But I come from this space where, as long as the need is clear to you,
Yes.
and you just provide the solution, that's what business is all about.
I agree. It's all about the
And
objective.
I'm beginning to see more and more businesses focus and coming from that space.
Right.
It's nothing particular, but it just it just happened. I just happened to
Notice that now?
notice that
Right.
different companies, like even if I travel, I see more companies that cares about environment,
Yes.
It's more of not just making money,
Right.
whether their integrity, they're sincere to what they market that they do, is something that I can't confirm.
Yeah.
But at least
They make the effort, right?
They make the effort. They
For
know
sure.
most of the big companies come up with foundations helping less fortunate and helping the people who are challenged with entrepreneurship, social responsibilities.
So would you say, because basically the trending is we pick out a word that you'd like us to look into. What word would you say that stands out to you right now? Is it social responsibility, would you say?
I would say reaching out to community.
So would you say
Something-
community?
I would say it's something beyond. I can't really come up with specific word, but then it's something that
Empathy, would you say?
I would probably say. Yeah, social responsibility.
Social
It's not
responsibility.
the business is not just about themselves.
True.
Yeah.
Because I actually have a handy dandy website here that
Okay.
shows off. So for example, if we actually search something here,
Yeah.
and then we look into it, we could actually look at the term and how it's trending in the last few months.
Oh, that's cool.
It's very interesting. So for example, if we look into it for the whole time, we could see that over the years, there's a downward trend. Very interesting. There's a downward trend over time with the term social responsibility. Maybe there might be a newer word that's sort of surfacing
Probably,
up.
yeah.
Because I think emotional intelligence is sort of coming up, like EQ over IQ kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very,
probably.
very
Most
interesting.
likely.
But in the last 12 months, I think it's increasing. Yeah, it's kind of like on that swing. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy Google Trends because it shows me pretty much like what's trending right now. For example, if we actually look into the trending searches, we can see that Philippines actually loves basketball. It's very funny. I'll show you. Hang on, give me 2 seconds here. So for example, if we switch it to Philippines, we can see the daily search trends right now.
Oh, that's a cool tool.
It's very cool, right? So this one, it's a very interesting one, but that's NBA. So ball.
Okay.
What we're seeing on the screen is actually ball here. He's basically a new person that got drafted into the NBA.
Oh.
But yeah, very interesting stuff here. So we've got quite a few. Anything in particular that sort of stands out to you right now with the recent searches of people? So these people are actually searching it right now.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, 2,000 people have actually looked into Albert Del Rosario, Ngok Tren, and yeah, quite a few other ones. Anything that stands out to you on this list?
Oh, I gotta be honest that I'm not so into like current issues, and because the tendency of the current issues are practically, the majorities are negative.
Yeah,
I just try to, as long as I'm not behind what I need to know, then
Yes.
I try to stay away. But then I think I also probably need to inform myself with trends. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You gave me a different perspective about keeping up with trends.
Yeah,
Because in business, finding out trend is very, very crucial.
very crucial, right? Because
In business analysis.
I think it's the game changer to, for example, if you put out like a business that you would have thought that would do well, it might even be the event that actually causes the downfall of that business because
Right.
you didn't see what was trending. So this other example here, I actually have a trend visualizer. This is another thing. This is what people are actually searching right now
Okay.
on Google in the Philippines.
Wow.
Anything that stands out to you there? Anything that you'd like to talk about, just so that we can expand on the searches? Nothing that speaks out to you. Hey,
It's why celebrities and
Right,
natural
yeah.
calamities, those are earthquakes.
Yes. Anything that you've heard about or you've seen about in the last few days or anything like
I
that?
think natural calamity is what's catching my attention.
Very much so. Anything in particular?
Earthquakes,
Yeah,
typhoons.
there was a recent one was it Sri Lanka or like?
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Damn, that's amazing.
Even in China, right?
Right. How bad was it?
I guess it's pretty bad. Even in just recently in Luzon, there was a
Earthquake.
Yeah, earthquake.
Damn. Because I'm actually just a little tidbit. Coming from Christchurch, we're actually super used to earthquakes. So
Me also, yeah.
oh
From
yeah,
Japan,
of course,
yeah.
Japan, far out, yeah.
Yeah.
Because for example, I've recently learned. I think back in 2012, that's where I learned that it's not about the magnitude. It's all about the depth.
Yeah.
Because you could have like a 2.1. It's like 10 kilometers away
Yeah.
from you, so it's pretty
strong, yeah.
But then you could have like a 10, but then it's like 100 kilometers
Yeah.
down, so you don't even feel it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where there's that stigma, like, oh, it's a 10, that must be really strong, but like no,
Right.
no, it's not about that. It's about the depth.
Mhm.
And because Christchurch actually got shaken up by a 7.1, and it was 10 kilometers in depth.
Oh.
So everything got devastated, and I think for the last 2 years we got 6,000 aftershocks. So every hour we'd be like, oh my god, we're back here again. So we got so used to it.
Yeah, but
It's crazy.
being raised in Japan, it's a good thing also because
Yes.
that there are frequent earthquakes.
Yes.
Because we as early as being in school,
Yes.
as kids, we are very well educated about earthquakes, what to do when it
safety,
happens,
right?
and
sure.
I think that's what many countries should
sure.
start doing.
I
It's
agree.
most of the time, like these disasters come out of unpreparedness. Yeah.
For sure. Because it's all about the preparation. Like, for example, even the buildings that are built in Japan are, just built to withstand, certain strengths
Right.
of earthquakes. And it's amazing because I think Christchurch is just rebuilding right now, and they just build up to about 4 stories high,
Right.
5 stories high, so not too high. That whenever it gets shaken up, it doesn't
Yeah,
just fall
it just
down to the ground.
dances.
Yeah, because when I was in Japan, it was crazy. Like, I think the building moved about 20 feet
Right.
side to side, and my mum was just losing it. And I was like, "This is fun, but this is pretty crazy," because you can see the building,
Right.
like.
Sometimes, like you're in
crazy.
high enough floor, you can see the ground.
Yeah, because it kind of tips down, right? It's that vertigo effect, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I can see
Scary,
that.
pretty scary.
Yeah, but I think that just shows the ingenuity of Japanese, that they can build buildings, even though they're tall.
Yeah.
It dances like a bamboo tree. It doesn't fight the
Yeah.
earthquake, but it just goes with it. It's
Turns,
amazing.
it might even end up in a philosophical thing, right?
Right? Yes. Because I think I remember that, like, that little story
Right.
with the mango and the bamboo.
Yeah.
Damn, that's amazing. Cool. So I'm just going to insert one more sponsor before we
please.
finish up. So another quick break for a sponsor, Port Restaurant. So do you need a wedding catering or craving a variety of unlimited food, from crabs to fried chicken to sisig or just about any Filipino food? Port Restaurant has your cravings satisfied. Located beside the prestigious waterfront, Port Restaurant caters to just about anyone who's after a delicious meal. Their lunch buffet from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is $3.89, and their dinner buffet is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for $4.59. Unlimited cheesy baked oysters, lechon baboy, shrimp tempura, and lots more Filipino foods. So dine and enjoy Port Restaurant today. Hang on, quick thing. So we're about to finish up now. Cool. So we're basically at the last leg for our podcast. Thank you
Okay.
so much,
Thank
Mario.
you. Thank you so much too.
Oh man, it's an amazing experience to be able to just get to know you a lot more, especially your struggles, like from starting, as a half-bred Japanese Filipino, losing your identity, but being able to find your identity here, and through grit and passion and also kaizen, being able to just be where you're at today. And still, I think that's the beauty of you as well, is you're still improving, you still see yourself with more room for improvement despite your Toyota FJ Cruiser 2018, and being able to just come out of lots of bad things that have happened to you in the past, being able to recover. I think it's an amazing feat that you've just accomplished, and it's really awesome to get to know you.
Thank you for kind words.
Anything that you're excited about in the next few weeks? Anything that's upcoming for you that you'd like to invite people to check out, or even just, you know, if you want them to come here to your new snazzy office? Anything of that sort?
With the help of you and your
Yes.
other friends,
Yes.
I'll be coming up with lots of workshop, as I mentioned earlier.
Life
a lot
coach.
of seminars.
Yes.
I would like to make. It's not gonna be boring. It's gonna be a fresh ideas,
Fresh new take.
and then we'll be able to talk about lots of topics that most people don't really want to talk about.
Yeah. The tricky
About
topic.
finances, about your personal issues, and because all these things come together,
Yeah.
and everything that happens in your life
Very
will
true.
affect everything else.
Very true. And I think that's one of the topics that a lot of people tend to not think about, right? Because they think that, oh, my personal issues are different from my
Yeah, you
business
can't
issues.
set
right?
aside. Yeah,
Right. And I think that's what I picked out from you when you spoke to me about that before, that it's all interconnected
yes,
and it needs to be dealt with, so that way you can actually deal with it, you know, a lot
Yeah.
better. That way you've got more focus.
yeah.
It's very interesting, guys. Check that out. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mario,
you.
for
Thank
being
you,
a
Andy.
guest. And yeah, guys, check him out, Mario Nakayama. That name again, that's going to be in big lights, because honestly, this guy is amazing. Check him out. Check out his Facebook. Facebook, right? Mario
Facebook,
Nakayama.
Mario Nakayama.
Have you got a page ready set up? It's
You
all-
guys are working on it.
Perfect. We'll get that up. Mario Nakayama, check out the page and his website upcoming. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. See ya. Way out. Peace. Bye-bye.